I am the third generation in my family business, which was founded by my grandfather in the 1940s. And when you're part of a firm that's over 75 years old, you have some unique opportunities. One of which is working with multi-generational client families. To myself, the founders of these families are legendary. These clients worked with us in the early years, and our team members refer to them with endearment and a tremendous amount of respect. And it makes working with subsequent generations very rewarding. As the planning of the first and second generations becomes realized, we get to know the third and help them perpetuate longstanding values while fulfilling their own unique purposes. Another opportunity presents itself in the charitable space, an area in which we are very passionate. Like many dedicated advisors in this room, our team works with clients to structure charitable gifts, but we have also been around long enough to have seen millions of dollars actually delivered. I reflected on these two privileges in the winter of 2021, when I, along with our managing partner, Ellie Chopet, met with the grandchildren of Mr. M, the subject of this case study. Mr. M came to us in the 1950s for extensive business and personal insurance planning. And in the 1980s, my Zadie, a pioneer in charitable life insurance, sold him a charitable policy payable to the United Jewish Welfare Fund, UJWF, which is now known as the Jewish Foundation. In 2007, Janice Bedetar met with the donor to review his policy. She brought up that he may want to consider transferring his private foundation, worth almost $2 million at the time, to UJWF. He replied that he would speak to his financial advisor, David Brown. Now, for any of you who have worked with our firm, you know that we are meticulous note takers. So to discover more details of this story, I ordered one of 8 files in our storage bank. I wanted to understand the impetus from a financial, tax, or estate planning perspective that Mr. M had to move his funds from his private foundation at the bank to UJWF. And indeed, the donor agreement had been extensively reviewed, and many technical questions were asked to my father and subsequently Janice. But the main piece of advice given from my father was, quote, in determining whether these assets should remain in a private foundation or be transferred to a public foundation or to the United Jewish Welfare Fund Foundation, the most important variable should be the goals and visions with reference to the foundation. This is a significant factor because these goals and visions may dictate the type of structure which is most appropriate for the foundation. And it turned out that Mr. M's main concern was not the tax benefits, the expert money managers, or the distribution policy, all of which were discussed in the meeting and are excellent reasons to open a fund at the Jewish Foundation. He was primarily concerned about succession. And although other foundations tried to involve the family as much as possible, for UJWF, it was in fact their current policy to foster relationships with the next generations. This was the most important consideration in his decision to move his funds to UJWF. As the fund and the foundation grew, the family continually made grants of 4% each year. And in 2014, we witnessed the next part of this story when Mr. M's son, who was also a client, worked with our office to donate one of his policies to the foundation. He remained active in the management of the family's fund and had similar goals to his father. Mr. M included his children in his donor agreement, but prior to his passing, he amended the agreement in a way that may be applicable for some of your clients. He added in a clause stating that if his next generation was not interested in managing the family fund, the Jewish Foundation should continue with the pattern of giving which they have seen in the past. And he felt satisfied, knowing that should his children not be interested, the family values would still be perpetuated. And with this, Mr. M's story continues. The opportunity exists for the third generation to follow in the footsteps of those before them. And at the same time, should things go differently, the family values and the legacy of the founders are still protected. This case study demonstrates why clients who are concerned about legacy and continuity may be thankful for your recommendation to the Jewish Foundation. For while employing our technical planning expertise when dealing with clients is of utmost importance, we should always remember that charitable legacies are born from strong values. And when the Jewish Foundation can help your clients perpetuate those values, the future possibilities are endless.